Sorry for the hiatus, I was traveling, but I am back, and today I want to talk about the Disney movie Encanto, which, unless you've been living under a rock, you have seen or at least heard the music of. Do you know what Encanto is really about? I'll give you a hint. It's not about family. It's about the ego. And specifically, it's about ego identification. And what does that mean? Ego identification is when you become so unified with aspects of your ego that nothing else, no other parts of you seem to matter, right? Does that make sense? We know people like that, inventing Anna, I'm building something and I'm a genius and you don't get it, and all total ego. And what's interesting about ego identification then is that in that state, everybody else matters but you. You are completely driven by external validation because you have to be a genius or you have to be super strong or super smart or super pretty relative to something else, right? You can already see how this is a really problematic state of mind. In fact, all of those Disney characters in the movie were experiencing that, right? I mean, remember Louisa when she was like, wait, if I could break the crushing weight of expectations, would that free some space up for joy or relaxation or simple pleasure? Instead we measure this growing pressure. Yeah, okay, I'm a Lin-Manuel fan. Fucking kill me, right? I have a 10-year-old, so I have watched it a few times. So, and does that mean that the ego is bad? No. I mean, in some Eastern traditions, the idea, yes, is to obliterate the ego completely. I believe that you need to have a healthy, functioning ego, just that it shouldn't be driving the bus. It may be a passenger or preferably in the back seat. And you have to watch how the ego works, because the ego is not here for the journey. The ego is here for the goal, the funding, the relationship, the fucking Nobel Prize, whatever it is you're going for, right? The ego uses the present moment to get to the next level, and that's the problem, because what we do know, Eastern, Western, wherever you come from, is that the present moment is where your juice is. It's where the vitality of life is. It's where you get the best out of the people that you're around, of the experiences that are in your sphere at that moment. And without that, life can be really fucking draining. Did you catch that all the main characters in that movie are basically miserable? Louisa, Isabella, fucking Bruno was a mess. I mean, Antonio was fine, but I'd be too if I had a little pet cheetah to run around on. They were miserable because they knew that when your identity and your worth is tied to one aspect of your life, it is just not sustainable. That's why they constantly lived in fear of losing their gift. Don't get me wrong, gifts are great. They are magnetizing and they're useful, and it is your responsibility to figure out what your gifts are and how you're going to use them in the service of others. But that's a whole other video. But if you walk around thinking that people only love you because you're smart, or because you're good looking, or because you drive a Ferrari, or I don't even know what the current currency is in terms of coolness, that's problematic, because most of that shit fades at some point, and then who are you? But what doesn't fade is the essence of your humanity, your heart, your soul, your desire to give back into the world, your ability to just be. Like Isabella says, what could I do if I knew that it didn't have to be perfect? It had to just be. Bravo, Disney. I felt this one. I really did. Not as much as Moana. She's still my number one girl. So think about it. If you didn't have to be perfect, what else could you do? Cheers.